you get back, bro. Thank you for letting me.
What is he doing? My name is Marsha Jenkins. I'm a December 2000 graduate of the Nurse Anesthesia program at UNC Charlotte and CMC in Charlotte, North Carolina. There were 12 people in my class, and I was the only person of color. How does it feel to be the only person of color? Sometimes hard to describe, but the person who's going through it does know. Sometimes you feel isolated, sometimes you feel lonely, sometimes you feel as if more is required of you than of your cohorts. So oftentimes the discrimination and or racism is very covert. Other times it's rather overt. I recall one incident where when I was in my last semester, we were going to graduate. However, we were told that we must pass an oral board in order to qualify for graduation. We were given a format that would be followed, so we would have an opportunity to study that format. Several of my classmates went before me, and that format was in fact followed. However, when I was called in for my interview, the committee told me that they were going to change the format. And so they asked me different questions in different format, and I did answer the questions to the best of my abilities. Later on that day, I was informed by the assistant director that I did not pass my oral boards and that I needed to return to the school and talk with the director. Once I got to the director's office, I was told that I was being placed immediately on academic probation. I had to pass a written exam and in order to proceed through the program. So of course, one week later, after studying in the library, I took the written exam, which I passed with flying colors. After that, I was told that I would have to take another oral board in 1 week, and I did pass oral boards that time, and I was allowed to graduate with my class. Throughout the entire process, I was very angry, I was frustrated, and I was puzzled as to why things took the turn that they did, especially since I was in my last semester. During that time also, I was told by my director that I should not tell anybody what was happening. So I felt in a way that was an attempt to keep me quiet and not let anybody know what was in fact happening to me. However, I did talk to two CRNAs that I had developed a good relationship with while at CMC as a student. I think that it's wrong to pull people out and mistreat them because of the color of their skin. And I truly believe that the incident that I suffered at that time was directly related to just that.
My name is Angela Smith, and I've been a practicing certified registered nurse anesthetist for nearly 20 years, and my personal journey has been pretty interesting, to say the least. On the first day of clinical in the fall of 2000 at LSU Medical Center in Shreveport, the program director pulled me to the side and she said, "Angela, you're the first Black nurse anesthesia resident to train here, but don't worry because everyone knows you're here." I didn't know what she meant by her comment, so I just took it in stride. And before long, I kind of understood what she meant. Was I isolated? Yes. Did I feel invisible sometimes? Yes. Were people just outright mean to me? No. But I did feel different. I didn't feel included. Like, I felt like my experiences, when compared to my other classmates, it was different. What got me through the process, I believe, was my experiences as an Army Nurse Corps officer, and also the educational foundation that I received from Texas Wesleyan. Going through anesthesia school is stressful enough, but I believe the added stress of feeling that you have no room for error, that everything that you do has to be perfect, of feeling like you're going to be scrutinized more so than anyone else, that is a very heavy burden to carry. And for those of us who have done it, it's not something to minimize. It was not easy. And to learn that 20 years later, students are still feeling like they are invisible. They are still feeling isolated, and they're still feeling like there is no freedom to grow and learn without pressure. That is very disheartening, and I believe this is something that has to be addressed.
Hello and greetings to all. My name is Gary W. Phelps, CRNA. Graduated in the class of 1975 from the Medical College of Pennsylvania. Being the only SRNA of color in the 70s presented its own unique challenges. Before I begin to share those challenges with you, I must take a moment to acknowledge Ms. Goldie Bragman, CRNA, past AANA president and first and only woman of color to be president of our association. Those of you that don't know who she is, I would strongly urge that you take the time to discover and study exactly who she happened to be, and of course the history of her illustrious career. It's her shoulders that we stand on. I'd also like to thank Dr. Harant Stone, Professor Emeritus, University of Pennsylvania, for opening doors for me that otherwise would have remained closed. As an SRNA in the mid-70s, one of the challenges was especially noticeable was isolation in the clinical arena. For example, when there was a hands-on technique being taught, I consistently found myself being among the last, if not the last, to participate in that hands-on technique procedure. I would also frequently receive lesser cases, i.e. D&Cs, knee manipulations, while other classmates would receive cases like exploratory lapse and gallbladder removal. I had daily feelings of being closely monitored and scrutinized. I had feelings of someone was always observing and just waiting for me to make one small error that would lead to sometimes harsh criticism by instructors or a bad rotational evaluation. Many of my fellow students would often gather in the corridors of the OR and would snicker as I would walk by. Some would even make taunting comments like, "You'll never finish this program, boy." In spite of the adversity that I encountered, I remained laser focused. Nothing would stop me from becoming a CRNA, and nothing did. Future SRNAs and current SRNAs remain laser focused. For your future as a board certified CRNA is bright. And daily read Proverbs 3, 5, 6, and 7. The best of luck to you all, and Black Lives Matter. Thank you for the privilege of your time.